Hi everyone! So today's video is either going to be a disaster or have a wonderful outcome. I'm customizing both my Coraline and Harry Potter Loungefly bags that I received the other day, and since Harry Potter is going to be the more difficult of the two, let's begin with Coraline. My goal for this bag is to swap out the zipper pull for a key pull since that's how the original concept art was. I want to put a dragon bejeweled pin over her current Dragonfly hair clip, and lastly I want to do a quick design on the back because it feels a bit plain to me. I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver to pry the clasp open and remove the original zipper pull. Next, I'm just squeezing together a metal O-ring onto a key that I already had so I can attach it to the clasp. I'll then grab a set of pliers and squeeze that pull tab closed.
Don't you have your own key?
Only one key.
And we'll check to make sure it works. Easy peasy, our first customization's done. For the Dragonfly clip, I'm going to mark off where I'm going to make incisions so I have slots to slip in the metal prongs of the pin. Using an X-Acto knife, I'll create slits. My original thinking was that both sides of the pin's backing would have to go all the way through the vinyl. However, there seemed to be an empty space between the two pieces of vinyl, so I was actually able to fold it in on itself in this area. Eventually, I'll have to touch up this section with leather repair glue and black leather paint. Already moving on to the back panel, I printed out the saying that I want to paint on the back of the bag. I use painter's tape to ensure that I'm writing straight, and I also use this tape as a guide, and I mark out where I want the letters to be. From there, I'll freehand the font to the best of my ability, and then once I have the design complete, I'll go through with my acrylic finisher so that way the paint's protected.
So sharp you won't feel a thing. Ow!
And with that, our first project's complete, and now onto the dreaded sequins bag.
I'm not ready for this series. You don't have a choice.
Going into this, I had no idea what to expect. I was hoping that I'd just be able to remove all the sequins and be left with this blank canvas, but that wasn't the case. The fabric underneath is more like a textured cloth. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but I couldn't imagine working with it, so I decided to see if there was anything underneath. Lo and behold, there's some sort of foam material, so my new goal was to get down to the foam on all three panels. I figured from there I would glue down any treated fabric that I had lying around. That way I'd have a proper base to go off of and try to color match the paint to make it uniform with the bag, and then lastly I would use acrylic finisher on the bag so that way it would be a satin finish all around. Ironically, I'm using leftover Patronus fabric that I had, but as we know I'm not keeping this design. I wish it'd work, but the print just clashes. Okay, so this is the color that we're aiming for, or something close to it. You can see the navy on its own is just too blue, but it'll still work for the first layer. And after playing with some colors, I would say we got a pretty good match, or as I like to say, good enough. So for the front design, I figured I would just mimic the design that's on the back panel. I'll start with a white Posco pen and finish it off with the gold. The white base just helps brighten the color. So for the first pocket, I want to paint this Gringotts Bank design, and because the other pocket will also have a circle shape to it, I'm using a cup as my stencil so the sizes stay the same on both pockets. So the way I paint, I always just look at an image and freehand to copy it. There's probably a more efficient way of doing things, but it's just what I'm comfortable with, and I'm not too worried about mess up since I have leftover base paint. And after finishing up with the gold, I did decide to add bits of crystals throughout the bag, like you'll see in this photo here. For the other side of the pocket, I do want to do this Ollivander symbol. I like the overall look of it, and I think the shape will complement the other pocket. And with our last design complete, I'm going to take an acrylic finisher to protect the paint. It'll also give a satin look to the whole bag because right now the original bag is more of matte and our redesigned panels are more on the satin level of shine. The directions said you can either use a paintbrush or a rag, so I chose to use a paintbrush on our custom parts and a microfiber cloth on the rest of the bag. I didn't end up recording this part, but you can see in this photo the difference between when it's coated and when it's not. So here's the two finished custom bags. What do you think? I personally enjoy them both, and I know this style might not be for everyone. That's totally okay. When making custom bags, you're catering to your taste, so as long as you love your creation, that's all that matters. And honestly, I can't wait to use my Harry Potter bag. I just feel like it makes more sense now overall. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Feel free to like, subscribe, and comment below, and I'll see you next time. Bye, friends.